for me, a great wine pair really well with junk food. Most famous pairing is champagne and French fries. Obviously, I'm not the first one saying it, but then I will say to go deeper. So for a Burgundy Pinot Noir with a cheeseburger, or I don't know, fried chicken with champagne, or white wine, maybe a Etna, something like that. And I see is something not obviously not taking into consideration, but I think a great wine can stand and can be the protagonist of a meal, even with junk food.
Welcome to the Italian Wine Podcast. This is the next generation with me, McKenna Cassidy. For the next episode, I invite you to explore with me what young adults are up to in the Italian wine scene. Let's feast on our discussion of Italian wine and culture. Grab a glass with us. Chin chin. Hello, everyone. Good morning from Chicago. I'm McKenna, your hostess on the Next Generation segment of the Italian Wine Podcast. And I'm joined by my special guest today, Alberto Rabachin. It is so good to have you with us.
Hi everyone. Hi everyone. As I was talking before, I'm really excited to be here today because basically I love every day to share my passion.
This is awesome. I can't wait to hear from your perspective. For those who are meeting Alberto today for the first time, he is 24 years old, I believe, Alberto.
Yeah.
Yes, he is from Vigevano in Italy and currently living in Paris. He is a renowned sommelier and also an influencer on Italian wine on Instagram and many other platforms. But it's a real treat to hear from him today, and especially for the next generation to hear about his perspective of fun, joy, creativity, seriousness about wine, but also creativity about wines. Alberto, a warm welcome to you. And just tell us a little bit about yourself, kind of where you grew up, what your family was like, and then we'll get into the wine stuff.
Okay, love that. Thanks again for having me. And influencer, as you mentioned, is a tough word for me because, it's not easy during this time talking about influencer, but let's say I'm trying to do my best every day. So I can start saying that I was born in a not so small, not so big town, not too far away from Milan. And my family, actually, I consider myself very lucky because both my parents were kind of into food and wine just as a passion. So I kind of grew up with good food, good quality wine, and etc. That what brought me to the wine courses and everything else, especially my mom, because he's the reason why I started to do a course in my town. And I end up here now in Paris working in the wine industry.
That's amazing. So you were studying other topics and then your mom mentioned this course. And what was that course?
Yeah, actually, I was doing a very general path. I was studying marketing and communication, those kind of stuff. So nothing too specific. And basically one day he decided to gift me the first level course of the FISAR course in a Sommelier association in Italy. And actually, the first two levels, while I was doing them, I was like, okay, it's interesting, but not super interesting for me. But then everything changed when I finished the courses, especially when I did the WSET level 3. And after that, I can probably say my life changed because I found out what I was really into. So let's say I found my path.
Definitely. I think in the wine industry, we say sometimes you caught the wine bug. In the US, we say like, oh, I experienced my first Mosel Riesling and I caught the wine bug. Or for me,
Exactly.
like I had a white blend from the north of Italy and it was aged and I caught the wine bug. But like, it's amazing for people listening, like if you're just getting into wine or you've been in wine for a long time, you can like feel a change in your heart almost, or yourself like towards wine. You suddenly feel captivated, or you have this new like creative energy towards it, or it kind of starts to drive you in a way that's
Once you start, you can get out. So
you like can't
and it's
control it. Exactly.
fascinated.
It is. And so clearly the FISAR classes went well, and W said because last year you were awarded Sommelier of the Year in Italy. So congrats for that. That's pretty awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And as I told you, after WSET, I really felt in love with the industry, and I'm saying not only wine, but for the whole industry, because it was the time I met really interesting people, and et cetera, et cetera. So
Who's someone you met that inspired you during that time?
not like big people, big famous people, but people like me, maybe just a couple of years older than me, who were doing the same as me. And so I found a really comfortable, at the same time, challenging environment where I felt understood, but at the same time, challenged to do more. And yeah, after that time, after that period, I literally started. I called that period my obsession because
Mm.
I was not a drunk, but I literally started, thinking about wine from the morning to the evening, studying, tasting, and sharing the passion. And actually, nothing changes. Nothing changed
Yes.
to date. So
This is awesome. So, in your role now, you're obviously contributing to the industry in several ways, but what's kind of a question that you get asked a lot when people encounter you or you're traveling or they realize your expertise? Like, what is a question that people always seem to ask?
But well, first of all, I'm still very young and humble, so usually I'm the one making questions
Good for you.
to other
That's
people.
me too. The best
So,
strategy.
but I have a lot of people, for example, asking me how to start learning faster, how to start remember, for example, the Grand Cru in Burgundy,
Mhm.
etc., etc. That were my exact same questions I was making in the past. So every time I simply reply saying it takes time, just drink, study, and enjoy the moment. It's impossible to learn everything in a second, so
Right.
step by step. Usually, that's my tip, my suggestion.
There you go. It's hard not to feel pressured when you are trying to learn about wine and you see how much everyone else knows. That comparison will be crushing for you to
Yeah,
start from within and see, okay, where do I need to grow next? What do I need to learn? Like each person is individual, just like an individual vine that might have particular needs slightly different from the vine next to it in the row
yeah,
in the vineyard. And like we can't be looking at this fruitful vine over here being like I should be that vine. That's not how it works. It's how to make yourself the most fruitful that you can be.
exactly. Yeah, and yeah, especially when you deepen, for example, a topic, a region, or a great variety. Once you start studying, you understand there are a lot of more things to study and gain, and sometimes
Right.
it is discouraging, but most of the time, actually, is really exciting for me, at least.
Totally. Studying about wine for me is like nutrients. I get
Yeah,
so there's so
I
much
like
it's like
that.
feeding myself what I that's awesome. So talk to me about like a wine region that really surprised you or that you got to travel to that was really impactful. Like I know for
So
myself, the first time I went to Montalcino, I was like, I
yeah,
get it.
that's pretty amazing.
It was amazing. Anyway, tell me about your thoughts there.
I'd say the region I'm more attached to. First of all, I say Oltrepò Pavese because
Mm,
it was literally the region where I started drinking. I started studying. Vigevano is not too far away from there, so I've been there many times, visiting many wineries, and still today, when I had the chance, I go there. Then I'd say Langhe, so Piemonte, also for the same reason, because it's not too far away from Milan, and also because I have friends over there, and so every time I go there, I can, let's say, have a different experience every time, visiting different wineries and really get into the production, the every details, and that's my favorite place probably for the moment. But
that's
as I
awesome.
was saying before, I still have to learn a lot, so definitely I want to visit better France. So
Right.
leveraging the fact I'm here, and so at this moment is Lange because I still have to learn a lot of things, but then we'll see.
Yeah. This is awesome. So, for the next generation listeners to this pod, tell me about like your favorite cheese pairing or food pairing with Il Troppo Pavese, Metodo Classico, DOCG. Like, what might you recommend for someone trying that the first time?
I mean, sparkling wines go well with pretty everything. So
Yeah, all the time.
from the appetizer to the end of the meal, I'd say with cheese. Yeah, definitely with cheese, with Parmigiano Reggiano, something like that. It's my go-to pairing. And then you can play with the aging of the cheese and the wine. So it's fun to play with.
Yeah.
And also from Oltre Pavese, I love the Pinot Noir. I mean, I don't have to explain what is Pinot Noir. And so I like the style. I think Oltre Pavese is a really hidden gem that still needs to be found out in the big industry, but maybe is okay like this. So you
Yeah.
need to be really passionate and you need to be really, yeah, knowledgeable to taste it.
It would be a fun like hangout for friends to get three wines from Il Troppo Pavese, perhaps like two sparklings and a Pinot Noir, or a sparkling and a white and a Pinot Noir, and then take three cheeses of three different age, like
Yeah.
12 months, 16 months, 24 months, or 48 months, and have like some friends over and have tasting. It's easy and not scary to do. You just go to the wine store and ask. Alberto, do you see some confusions that people have about shopping for wine or accessing wine, and what do you kind of think about that?
Yeah, basically, for example, here in Paris, I work in a wine shop for the moment, so I deal with that every day. And basically, there are so many information about wine, and we cannot expect that everyone knows everything. So when I see people coming into the shop, well, most of the time they are kind of confused, and they basically start going in the safe space or the big names, the big appellation, and so on.
So you're working in a wine store. How do you help people feel more comfortable shopping for wine when the reflex is to go to what's familiar? In America, it's Cabernet Sauvignon.
Yeah.
If I see Cabernet Sauvignon, I can trust that I'm going to like it. But there, as we know, mass amounts of grapes that can even often be more pleasurable than cab. So how do you kind of guide someone to either try something new or feel more comfortable in the store?
Let's say I try two things. The first of all, I try to see if the person is willing to try something different, because it's not always like that. There are people who wants, for example, Prosecco, who wants Chianti, and you cannot move them. So it's better to give them what they want. But then, if someone is willing to change, I try to play with him, with the person. For example, proposing something like, for example, Troppo Pavese or other smaller appellation that, for example, that could be for Italians could be very well known, but from the point of view of a French person could be unknown.
Yeah.
So it's really fun to play with.
This is awesome. Talk to me about like how you got into working at the wine store and what your hopes are for the future.
Basically, I send an application, so
Okay.
kind of easy.
What wine store is it?
It's a big Italian wine store in Paris,
Okay.
and actually got the opportunity because they helped me, first of all, moving here,
Wow.
and even because my French was and still is very, very bad. So this job helps me every day to, getting better and learn French, first of all.
Sure.
And in my future, and I'm talking short term, so in the next month, I want to, level up and becoming working a not bigger but more important wine shop or bar à vin, a wine bar,
Yeah.
and playing with more interesting wines, more interesting customers, and level up, making experiences,
Yeah.
and then we'll see. Obviously, for the moment, I think that restaurants and so on is not my future place where to work, but we'll see. I'm open to everything, and every 6 months I get bored. That's why I moved from Milan to Paris, and so next year probably I don't know where I will be.
You'll be elsewhere. That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, I have a few random questions for you. Since you're the sommelier of the year, I'm sure you can help us out. What is the strangest food and wine pairing that you've seen that works?
So I will probably say something not too weird, not too unbelievable, but for me, a great wine pair really well with junk food. Most famous pairing is champagne and French fries. Obviously, I'm not the first one saying it, but then I will say to go deeper. So for a Burgundy Pinot Noir with a cheeseburger, or I don't know, fried chicken with champagne, or white wine, maybe a Etna, something like that. And I see is something not obviously not taking into consideration, but I think a great wine can stand and can be the protagonist of a meal, even with junk food. Obviously, we don't have to eat too much junk food, but in my opinion, a great wine has to be enjoyed by itself. So if you have a great wine, the wine has to be the protagonist. If you pair with a excellent dish, then the two are going to. And for me, great champagne with French fries, with something fried, everything
Yeah, right on.
can be enjoyed like all the day long. So
Totally.
also
That's
for
all.
the budget, point of view, because I probably have the money for a decent wine, but also for a decent menu. So it's not like that. So
One of my favorite restaurants in Chicago does half price bottles under $1,000 on Tuesdays and Mondays. So you can get like an Agliorier Grand Cru champagne for a reasonable amount, and then me and my friends just get fries.
yeah, that's what I'm doing here in
And
Paris,
maybe like
basically,
an oyster or two, and then you're set.
just to feel fancy. Yeah,
Just to, yeah, like, because they're only $3 per or something like that. This is
yeah,
awesome.
I do the same.
I get a ton of questions too about like Halloween candy and what wines would you pair with Halloween candy, and it's always like, ugh, like, do we have to? But
Yeah, exactly. The question is that.
is it necessary? Like, just get a seltzer instead or have a Negroni. But I always tell people, like, you want the wine to be sweeter than the food in theory if you're looking for a rule of thumb. But again, it's like a toss up. You can, as well, your palate's not going to lie to you. So
Yeah,
whatever you
that,
experience is probably your reality. This is awesome. So I guess let's pivot a little bit. I want to talk about maybe your reels on Instagram and which reel you found has had like the most engagement. And you were probably surprised that it was so popular, but why? Like, which reel was it? Do you recall one of your posts that was more popular than you originally expected it would be?
yeah. Let's say that Instagram and then also TikTok are two jungles for me, because sometimes I see numbers that I'm not expecting, and vice versa. But in the wine industry on Instagram, I learned that to make numbers, to make engagement, obviously you have to share big bottles.
Mm.
So I really noticed the step up when I started drinking the right bottles, the right labels. I know it's not nice to say, because you should enjoy a wine not considering the label, but that's the reality. So the reels that made me most of the engagement were the ones where I was showcasing big bottles.
Not necessarily larger wine bottles, but
No, no,
important,
a big in yeah,
expensive stuff.
yeah.
People
That's
like seeing money. Okay, I got you.
I'm not talking about throwing monies away, buying Dom Perignon and etc. But you know, you probably know better than me. But there are bottles that are more rare. They're not easy to find,
Yeah.
and obviously the price point is a bit higher. But it's a price you can really afford. Obviously, sharing the cost with friends, etc. But when I did that, I noticed the numbers rising.
That's really interesting. I know you're drinking Le Regnaie Rossa di Montalcino the other day, which is an
Ah,
amazing
yeah.
producer, amazing wine. I know I recognize that wine. I'm sure a handful of other people did, but yeah, I think some level of extravagance appropriate to your own life, but people are like, "Ooh, I don't always get my hands on that wine. It's cool that it's here right now and someone else is enjoying it." You're kind of exposing the mystery of what luxury can be when you have that. That's
And
awesome.
I also do the same on the other side, because from my perspective, I follow and I have a lot of friends on Instagram doing what I do, but on the next level. So we are talking different budget, different price point, and I basically do the same. So I asking question, and it's nice to talk with someone who is able to enjoy a bottle that you can't, and ask him first of all what he's thinking, what's the wine taste like, if it's worth it. Because I have a lot of friends saying me, I don't know, this bottle is not worth a cent, but
Yeah.
you have to pay hundreds and hundreds to get one drop, maybe. And so sharing
See,
is essential.
This is awesome. Okay, so Alberto, tell me what you're up to when you're not thinking about, or selling wine in your wine store. Like, what do you do for fun outside of wine?
I mean, I do wine also for fun, so I don't
Yes.
have to escape that. But basically, I mean, I moved to Paris literally 4, 5 months ago, so I'm still enjoying Paris. And in my free time, when I want to relax, I simply walk without a destination, and music on, and I literally just enjoy Paris. That it's amazing. And then in my free time, I love to make contents on Instagram. So I mean, obviously, it's about wine, but
Sure.
everything that is around the editing, the scripting, and everything else, I love doing that. And then when I have the possibility, when I have the chance, I love the nature. So doing trekking, walking. I mean, in this period, I'm not doing that so much, but I hope in the future to have more time to
Yeah,
do that.
this
That's
is
me.
awesome. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. That's great. Is there anything else before we wrap that you want to share with the listeners on the Italian Wine Podcast today that you would hope that they know about wine or about your own wine journey?
I mean, I want to say that as I think I was mentioning before, I'm still in the process of learning. So I'm basically open to everything. And I think that is essential to live this world at its fullest. And I'm proud of what I did, what I'm doing, but I'm still not satisfied. I would like to say that. And yeah, that's it. I don't know what to say actually,
Heard that. No, that was beautiful. That was perfect.
but
That was very well
I
done.
love to share my passion every day, passionate people too. And so if someone is willing to, I don't know, have an idea about what, reach me out, and let's talk,
Yeah.
let's move things out, and at least we'll share a bottle and we will have fun.
Cheers to that. That's awesome. Well, everyone, you can find Alberto on TikTok, on Instagram, etc., and hopefully at the wine store in Paris if you're lucky enough to catch him.
Just,
Alberto, thank you. Yes, thank
just
you
send
so
me a
much.
message.
Oh, good. DM him. Perfect. Just
Yeah,
set up
yeah,
a time and share that bottle for sure. Thank you so much for your time and sharing your thoughts with us. I think this was really cool. We covered not only your journey in wine, but also your current experience, and then kind of wrapped up with the idea that continued curiosity is a pretty awesome path forward.
exactly.
So thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thanks to you. Thanks to you.
Tante grazie. Thanks so much for being here with me today. Remember to catch our episodes weekly on the Italian Wine Podcast, available everywhere you get your pods. Salute.